Hey there, YouTubers. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what we really need to mine Raptoreum. So L3 cache, all right, is what you're looking at. The higher that is, for the most part, the better, okay? Now, since I would pretty much spout this out, might as well look at what the definition is on the internet. According to Techopedia, level L3 cache is specialized cache that is used by the CPU and is usually built into the motherboard and in certain special processors than the CPU module itself. Typically, its memory performance is slower compared to L2 cache, but is still faster than the main memory. Okay, so there's that. What is L3 cache used for? Blah, 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 right there for you, okay? Is it important? You know, not so much in video games, but for the CPU mining, it matters. All right, so we have that. Let's look at something that's super slow so you guys can see what its cache is. Celeron, if I can spell it right, G5900, L3 cache. Okay, this is the bottom of the barrel. Might be 2 megabytes. Let's see. It'll be on here somewhere. Does Intel not break these out? Guess not. So, looks like it's ridiculously small. Wherever I just saw it. You guys see it? It was on here. That's probably it, right? Well, no, I don't care. So that one was not a good example. Let's look at one of the ones that I have. Another CPU that we're actually using on this computer. That's a bad example. 12 megs, all right? And now let's look at something that's actually good to mine on. This has 64 megs, okay? Almost 5 times that. Now, does that mean 5 times the income? It may actually mean more than 5 times. Let's look at a 5900X, which is the same amount, 64 megs. 5950, if you can get a hold of one of them. Those are expensive, right? 64. I could have sworn one of these had. Yeah, so they're all 64, but they're, you know, these are great chips, right? And then you got 3900 XT, which I haven't seen one of those in a while. 64. So 64 is pretty much where you want to be, right? Now, what's the best offering that Intel has really that you can go get? 12900K. 30 megs. So not even half. Now, I think I saw that this makes about $1 a day, all right? So I don't have one of those. What if you have something like a 10900? 20 megs. So maybe a third of what the 3900X makes, which that wouldn't be too bad, right? If you were making about $1, $1.33, $1.50, I could handle that. And if you had an 11900K, let's say, what does that have? 16 megs, so it actually has less. All right. So you have to spend a ton of money on Intel just to get something that might be okay. Might make you a little money. Let's look at some different Ryzen ones, okay? That I have. 3200G. That has 4 megs, okay? And you know, one thing you're going to notice is the integrated CPUs by AMD are terrible for this. What's some other ones? The 3400G, right? So that was 4 megs. 4 megs there, okay? Then what's next? The 4300G, right? Oops. 4 megs. 4600G was after that, right? 8 megs. So a little better, but still terrible. 4700G, 8 megs. So I'm doing these because eventually we'll get to the other stuff. Now, another one that I have, 5300G, 8 megs. So not going to be very good. Now, I almost spent money and got this one. It has double, but still not very good, right? That would not have been worth the extra money. It would not pay for itself, really. Would take forever. 5700G, 16 megs. So from a CPU mining perspective, not very good. So those are all the ones that have integrated graphics, right? Now, if we go back to something like a 1700X, let's say, 16 megs, okay? Actually, that's total. Let's see. Hopefully you guys don't mind what I'm doing here. 16 megs L3. Okay? So even this one might not be that bad. Now, if you go with an 1800, that'd be nice if somebody would just make a nice chart listing all these things and then tell you what's worth a crap. Like NiceHash. You guys ever seen this? This is one of the best things out there for NiceHash. And somebody, you know, if they would do this with Raptoreum, that would be great. GUI hardware, CPU. So there's, you know, kind of the same thing here. This Threadripper is probably going to be the best one for this. You'd want to drop your NiceHash mining and get with this one. But you can see 3950 Threadrippers, 5950X. This is about what, $700 bucks? I have no idea how much that is. Let's find out real quick. See if we can find a 3960X in here. 1818. Now, could that do some CPU mining? I bet it could. 24 megs. I am curious, folks. 3960 L3 cache. It's gotta be 128 megs. $128. So that thing would tear it up. Now, is it enough? Would you make enough on something like this? That you would get your money back? That is a darn good question. All right, so we're on the 1800X. Did we ever see what the L3 was for the 16? Okay. Now, what happened after this? I don't even know. 2700X, right? I think. Did they improve? 16 megs, so not very great. I don't know if there was a 2800X. I'm just not that familiar with AMD, folks. I apologize. I'm an Intel guy. No such thing. Or is there? Yeah, it doesn't show it. All right, so that's that. Let's get into the 3000 series, right? Now, there's the 3100, which is just absolutely terrible. I had one of these. I got rid of that thing so fast. 16 megs, okay? So a lot better than half the Intel chips. So if we go what is it, 3300, 3300XX. This is going to be 32, I bet. Nope, 16. Okay. Let's go 3600. $32. So we jumped up, folks. 3600X. So this might be where it starts to get good for mining. I mean, not like spectacular. So that one's not bad, right? Then you got 3700, which is a little better. It's still 32. Does that mean that mine's any better though? That's what I'd like to know. 32, right? And then my 3900X, which is 64. And I look forward to sharing with you guys some stuff on that. Now, there's the XT, which has 64 megs. What was the 3600 XT? She was probably a waste of money. 32. Yeah, I just saw it. So, you know, nothing spectacular there. All right, then we get into 5000s. There's no XT. We already looked at the graphics. This is 32, okay? What's up after this? 5700X? I bet it's 32 as well. Wait a second. Isn't there a 5700X? 5800. Sorry. There was no 32. Wow. That's surprising. So we have to jump up to 5900X. This should be 64. Yeah. So then all the Threadrippers, folks, a lot of those are 128, or at least a few of them. Now let's look at prices here. This may be probably the best deal, right? But if you're only making $4 a day, it's going to take you a long time to pay for it. But $4 a day is not as bad as it would take you to pay for a graphics card, right? Highly tempting if I get my Raptoreum going good to buy me one of these, because I do need another CPU for a channel. That would be sweet. Even the 3960, you know, if that thing, and I don't know how much that thing makes, I'm gonna ask somebody. But if that thing made $10 a day, that is a better deal than buying a 3090. Except for, what are the negatives, folks? The negatives would be that Raptoreum eventually you'd probably be making nothing mining. That's a possibility. The motherboard is really expensive with those. The power supply, you know, not that big a deal. I would, you know, with my setup, use a graphics card with it. So probably work two angles, get GPU mining, CPU mining. But it actually looks like a pretty good price when you look at it, if you can get enough money out of it. This one, you know, if it takes, with two of these, you make more than that, this is a much better deal. So there's also the 3970. Wow. Didn't even think about this one. And 2970. 5950X. We talked about that one. So yeah, folks, you know, for the money, I would probably say the 3900X or the 5900X are the way to go. I don't think you can find a 3900 XT anywhere except maybe eBay. Yeah, they're out. I don't think they were that popular. I mean, it wasn't really a huge increase. What did I just pull up? 2080 Ti. So my 2080 Ti is on the fritz. Let's see if we can find one. $5.99. Used. Of course, they're all going to be used. Wow, look at that. This guy's got a ton of them used. So what is my 3900X going for? You know, nice thing is, it's tempting to just sell my 3900X. Buy something else. Buy a 12th gen Intel. Even though it won't make any money. I wasn't honestly impressed with the performance of this thing for gaming. It gets destroyed by pretty much all the Intel chips. Yeah, right at 450, 500. Dang. So what's a 5800X go for these days? 350, but it's not going to make the money. You won't make the money, right? Huh. All right, well, there you go, folks. Hopefully you got something out of this video besides a headache. Have a good one. Check back.